So today's topic is food preservation by non-thermal methods. So today we will discuss about the preservation technique in which we are using low temperature as well as freezing of our food items. So what is generally happen in food preservation? In this, and it is mainly based on uh, prevention and delaying of microbial degradation of food component, then prevention and delaying of self decomposition of food material, and prevention the damage caused by insect, animal, and by mechanical means. So our main aim is to delay the microbial degradation process generally occurred in our different food items just by restricting the growth and activity of different kind of contaminating microorganisms present in your food. So microbial decomposition of foods will be prevented if all spoilage organisms present in foods are inactivated and the processing condition restricts the entry of other contaminating viable microorganisms responsible for creating abnormal condition in food. So our main aim is to restrict the entry of contaminating microorganisms. And at the same time, whatever processing treatment we are giving, that should sufficient to inhibit all sort of microorganisms present in your food item. And sometimes some enzymes are there in the system, and it is also important to inactivate those enzymes because they are responsible for creating a spoilage problem. If a suitable preservation method is not chosen and not used in preservation system, so automatically we have to have complete idea about the manufacturing operation, what type of temperature you are using, and what type of condition is created during the manufacturing operation. So it is very important to choose a particular type of preservation method on the basis of these informations. Now, some preliminary information just I want to give you people. Asepsis. What are the different method of food preservation? Asepsis is one of the well-known method. Then removal of microorganisms. In the last class, we have discussed in detail about different methods. But just before starting or discussing our main topic, it is important to give you some background about the food preservation system. So maintenance of anaerobic condition, use of high temperature, drying and smoking, use of chemical preservative, and irradiation. So these are the methods generally used for food preservation. Now, what is natural protection, which is mainly used in asepsis or present in asepsis cases? In this, outer layer of animal and plant tissue protects the inner layer free from microorganisms. This protective covering will delay or prevent microbial decomposition. Example, cells of nuts, skin of fruits, and vegetables. When we have studied about the different factors affecting the growth and activity of microorganisms, at that time we have studied about the biological structure. Same thing is here. How they can protect, how outer covering of these food items protects the inner material. Thereafter, packaging of food, such as wrapping, hermetically sealed container, which is used in canning of canned product, then this method will prevent primarily contamination during handling. Thereafter, sanitary method, sanitary condition which you are maintaining during operation, processing operation, handling. So it is very important in dairy industry. Contamination with microorganisms should be avoided as much as possible in the production and handling of milk. Thereafter, what is the role of food industry? Attention is given to prevent the contamination of food from raw material to finished product. So these things are very important when you want to increase the shelf life of any food item, and it is our main motto for using different kind of preservation technique. So how microorganisms can be removed from the system? So filtration is a successful method used for complete removal of microorganisms by using pre-sterilized filters. It is used in soft drink, fruit juices, and water. So filtration is one of the most important method for all these products. When you are manufacturing soft drink, fruit juices, and water, thereafter centrifugation used in treatment of drinking water and for removal of heat resistant bacteria from milk. But it is not very effective, and it is not possible to remove all microorganisms present in the system. But just to minimize the total bacterial load, you can use this type of centrifugation method. And washing is helpful in removing soil microorganisms from fresh fruit and vegetables that may be resistant to heat process during canning, but the quality of water should not contaminate these items. So what people are doing in case of vegetable and fruit, they are first of all, just after harvesting, it should be properly cleaned, or it should be washed with good quality of water. And whatever water quality is there, that should not add any number of contaminating microorganisms to your fruit or vegetable. Now, sometimes trimming is used. In this, we simply trim away the spoiled portion of fruit or vegetable. And thereafter, you can use that product and you can send it for further processing treatment. Now, the maintenance of anaerobic condition, it is very important in case of, as all of you know, that most of the microorganisms are microaerophilic or aerobic in nature. So if you are creating a negative atmosphere, that is anaerobic condition inside your system, automatically it will restrict the growth of different kind of aerobic microorganisms as well as microaerophilic in nature type of microorganisms. And you can replace the head space by carbon dioxide or nitrogen, which can be used in different kind of food items. Spores are resistant to heat and may survive in canned food, but they are unable to germinate in absence of oxygen. So if you are restricting the environment, automatically you are restricting the activity of these spores. Now, sometimes people are using high temperature in some kind of food item. So temperature and time used in heating processing, it will depends upon the effect of heating on the food. What type of food is there, what type of final product you have to manufacture, and what is your main aim. So depending upon that, you have to choose a particular time temperature combination. Other preservative methods employed. So in addition to heating, what are the other preservation method you are combining with this heating process? Automatically, the temperature time combination will be decided on the basis of or thinking about or considering about the other preservative methods implied in that food item. Now the pasteurization generally use heating at 100 degrees centigrade or heating more than 100 degrees centigrade is generally applied in preservation system of different food item. So if you increase heat treatment, automatically the number of microorganisms will be decreased in any food item. It is a thumb rule. So it is mentioned here. Now, coming to our topic, use of low temperature. Low temperature reduces the activity of microorganisms by reducing the chemical reaction and action of enzyme. Whatever chemical reaction is going on or whatever enzymes are there in the system, that will be inactivated, and automatically the shelf life of your food item will be improved. Low temperature will prevent growth of microorganisms and slow down that metabolic activity, resulted in delaying or preventing spoilages. Chilling at low temperature of 4 degrees centigrade can prevent the growth of food poisoning microorganisms except the Clostridium botulinum type E, and restrict the growth of a number of different spoilage microorganisms. What we are doing in our dairy industry, so we are just after collecting at reception dock, immediately we chill our milk below 4 degrees centigrade. And our main aim is to restrict the growth and activity, just to check the growth and activity of different contaminating microorganisms. So the same case is here in case of different food items. You have to restrict the growth, and you have to restrict the enzymatic degradation, decomposition of your food item, automatically you have to lower down the temperature of your food item. Thus, it is used everywhere for temporary preservation of food. Few psychrotrophs, you have already studied about the nature of psychrotrophs. They can grow at low temperature range. And what are those? Flavobacterium species, Pseudomonas alkaligenes, but they often show a low growth rate. So they can grow at that temperature range, but the rate is very slow. Now, the freezing temperature helps to reduce the number of viable microorganisms, but does not sterilize the food. The percentage of microorganisms killed during freezing and storage depends upon the type of food and type of freezing process you are using. So, in case of fast freezing, a smaller ice crystals will be formed, and they are responsible for causing less mechanical destruction of food. Quick solidification ensures sudden death to microorganisms, and inactivation of the enzymes and food quality after thawing will be better. Same thing is applicable in our dairy industry in case of UST. In case of pasteurization treatment, what we are doing? We are giving temperature shock to our product and immediately chilled below 4 degrees centigrade. So because of that shock, most of the microorganisms will be inactivated or destroyed or killed. Now here, um, in this figure, the different type of food item where we should keep different type of food item in refrigerator. So upper shelves, what are the different item? It is mentioned here: milk, juices, ice, and different items should be kept in freezer. Then middle shelf, yogurt, cheeses, these should be kept in middle shelves. Then lower shelf, berries, hard vegetables, poultry, eggs, these are the things which you should keep in lower shelf of refrigerator. And one separate shelf is there. In this you can keep your fruit, herbs, and fish. So at least everyone have idea about this thing. So we should maintain this type of condition in our refrigerator. Now, chilling. Why it is preferred? It is very important. It is one of the most important method. So it is very important to know why it is preferred over other method. So prevention of food at temperature above freezing and below 15 degrees centigrade is known as refrigeration or chilling. It is used to reduce the rate of biochemical and microbiological changes, and hence to extend the shelf life of fresh and processed foods. So our main aim is to restrict the ongoing biochemical or microbiological changes in different food items. You have to restrict the condition, environmental condition. It causes minimum changes in sensory characteristic and nutritional properties of food. So it is one of the most important point for selecting this chilling process. So just everyone is recommending that just after harvesting or just after procurement, your product should be immediately chilled below 4 degrees centigrade or near to freezing point. It is just because of these regions. Now, the chilling effect. It checks growth of microorganisms. It restricts post-harvest and post-slaughter metabolic activities of plant and animal tissues respectively. Then deteriorative effect on chemical reactions, including enzyme catalyzed oxidative browning or oxidation of lipid, and chemical changes associated with color degradation, autolysis of fish, and loss of nutritive value of foods. So automatically, for restricting all these effects, which are not desirable in a food item, you have to chill your or recommend your industry people to immediate chill down your product and reduce moisture losses. Whatever moisture is there, if you are keeping your product at high temperature range, automatically the internal moisture will ooze out or go out and ultimately affects the overall quality or acceptability limit of that particular product. Now the categories of chilled food on the basis of their storage temperature. -1 to 1 degree centigrade sauces, fresh fish, meat, smoked meat, and ground meat. 0 degree centigrade to 5 degree centigrade, pasteurized milk, cream, yogurts, salad, sandwiches, baker foods, soups, sauces, canned meat, and 0 degree centigrade to 8 degree centigrade, fruit juices, soft fruits, and hard cheeses. So these are the temperature range recommended for different products. Now, what type of chilling equipments one should use for lowering down the temperature or for freezing or chilling of your food items? Generally, mechanical refrigerator or cryogenic system refrigeration system is used. What is happening in mechanical refrigerator system? Mechanical refrigerator have four basic elements: evaporator, compressor, condenser, expansion valve. You have already studied about this in engineering courses. A refrigerant circulates between the four elements of the refrigerator, changing a state from liquid to gas and back to liquid. So the main role of compressor is there in the system. And cryogenic system, in which you have to use the solid carbon dioxide, um, uh, then liquid carbon dioxide. So here in this photographs, I have tried to give you some idea about the mechanical refrigerator as well as cryogenic system refrigerator. So system is same. In one side, it is high pressure side, and this one is lower pressure side. And how it is working? Whatever um, heat is there just after compression, whatever refrigerant you are using, it is in vapor stage, and ultimately when it again reaches to the condenser, and then again when it reaches to the compressor system, it comes in liquid condition, and again it is converted, and pressure is applied in the system, and at the same time the whole refrigeration cycle will be achieved. And there is one different receiver is there, then condenser is there, oil separator is there. So you must have gone through this thing in engineering courses. So the same system is there in cryogenic, simply the refrigerant used in this is different. So for detail about the refrigeration system, you can go through the different books available, and in engineering courses you can ask what is difference between mechanical refrigerator and cryogenic system refrigerator. So next one is super chilling. Super chilling is one of the method that can be used to maintain food product at a low temperature. Generally, superheating is positions between freezing and refrigeration, uh, where the surrounding temperature is set below the initial freezing point. It is a process by which temperature of a food product is lowered to -4 to -1 to -4 degrees centigrade by means of slurry ice or in super chilled chamber without ice. So just by doing all this, you can maintain this temperature range -1 to -4 degrees centigrade, and it is recommended for few food items. Now, definition of this: super chilling is what where temperature of food is maintained below 0 degrees centigrade, but ice crystals are not generated. That is very important point, that there should not be any ice crystal. Super chilling is defined as a technology where food is stored just below the initial freezing temperature. So you have to maintain this temperature range for super chilling, and just by doing this, you can apply in certain food product. Now the freezing, most important thing, which is used in so many food industry. Freezing is a unit operation in which the temperature of a food is reduced below its freezing point, and a proportion of the water undergoes a change in the state to form ice crystals. So freezing point is a combination of beneficial effects of low temperature at which microorganisms cannot grow, and chemical changes are reduced, and cellular metabolic reactions are delayed. So just by doing this, you can achieve all these things. The condition created by the low temperature cannot allow microorganisms to grow. Whatever chemical changes are going on, that will be restricted, and it also reduces the cellular metabolic reactions. Now the theory of freezing. Sensible heat is first removed to lower the temperature of food to the freezing point. The next one is heat produced by respiration in case of fresh fruit and vegetables are also removed. Then the latent heat of crystallization is removed to form ice crystal. The latent heat of crystallization of other component of food is also removed. So these things are happening in freezing process, and just by doing that, you can restrict the above mentioned condition and improve the shelf life of your product. Now the freezing technique. Sometimes people are using this plate chiller, or in some cases people are using this cabinet type of chiller. So what are the advantage of freezing? Many food can be frozen. Good natural color, flavor, and nutritive value can be maintained in that particular food item. Then texture usually better than other method of food preservation. Then food can be frozen in less time. They can be dried or canned. Simple procedure and adds convenience to food preparation. And what are the disadvantages of freezing process? Texture of some foods is undesirable because of changes due to the freezing process. Initial investment and cost of maintaining a freezer is high, and storage space is limited by how much the freezer will hold. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of freezing technique. So now the effect of freezing on microorganisms. We are mainly concerned with this slide, or on next slide. What is happening? What is the effect of freezing on microorganisms? Considering the effect of freezing on the number of microorganisms that are unable to grow at freezing temperature, it is well established that freezing is one method of preserving microbial culture, and freeze drying being perhaps the best method known. So we are generally using freeze drying process, and for preserving our microbial culture, what we are doing, we are simply placing those cultures inside refrigerator just to preserve it for longer period. However, freezing temperature have been shown to affect the killing of certain microorganisms which are important in food. Now, the salient fact of what happened to certain microorganisms upon freezing showed sudden mortality immediately on freezing, and it varies with species. So, depending upon the nature of a species, the effect can be observed. Now, the next one is the proportion of cells surviving immediately after freezing die gradually when stored in frozen state. And last one is the decline in number is relatively rapid at temperature just below the freezing point, especially about -2 degrees centigrade, but less at lower temperature, and it is usually slow down at below -20 degrees centigrade. Now, bacteria, which are generally found in our product, different food items, differ in their capacity to survive during freezing, with cocci being generally more resistant than gram-negative rods. Of the food poisoning bacteria, Salmonella are less resistant than Staphylococcus aureus. So automatically, you people have to remember these things, that which one is more resistant and which one can be easily affected by freezing process. Whereas endospores and food poisoning toxins are apparently unaffected by low temperature. From the strict standpoint of food preservation, freezing should not be regarded as a means of destroying foodborne microorganisms. So freezing is not for destroying, it is just for delaying or preventing the growth and activity of different kind of microbes. So low freezing temperature is about -20 degrees centigrade are less harmful to microorganisms than the medium range of temperature, such as -10 degrees centigrade. For example, more microorganisms are destroyed at -4 degrees centigrade than -15 degrees centigrade. It is also very important. So you people have to remember this sentence, that low temperature -15 is not so effective if you compare to a food item which is stored at -4 degrees centigrade. Temperature below -20 degrees centigrade seem to have no additional effect. So food constituents such as egg white, sucrose, corn syrup, fish slice, glycerol, and undenaturated meat extract have all been found to increase freezing viability, especially of food poisoning bacteria. and where acid conditions have been found to decrease cell viability. So if you combine this process with some level of acidity, automatically it will affect on the activity of microorganisms. These are the different microorganisms given in this table, and the common food sources are also listed here. Then the survival temperature is given in this column, and optimum growth temperature is also given in this table. Simply you have to go through, these are the problematic type of microorganisms and responsible for transferring some kind of diseases to human being. So automatically you have some idea about the survival range as well as the optimum growth temperature range. Now the considering some of the event mode of action, that is very important, that I want to discuss with you people, that the water that freezes is called free water and it forms ice crystal upon freezing. Bound water remains unfrozen, as all of you know. Then the freezing of cells depletes them to unstable, usable liquid water and thus dehydrate them. At the same time, freezing results in an increase in the viscosity of cellular matter and its direct consequence of on water which is being concentrated in the form of ice crystal. So whatever free water present in the system, that will be converted into ice crystals, and in that condition whatever microbes are there, they will be disturbed, and whatever cellular material is there, that will lose out, and some kind of abnormal condition, that normal metabolic function will not continue. So it will restrict the or it will inhibit the growth as well as the activity of this different type of contaminating microbe. So freezing results in a loss of cytoplasmic gases, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and a loss of oxygen to aerobic cells, suppress respiratory reaction. So in more diffuse state, oxygen is greater oxidative activity observed within the cell and cause change in pH of the cellular matter. So 0.3 to 2 pH unit is reported to change during the freezing process, and automatically it will create abnormal condition and restrict and have some kind of inhibitory effect on different kind of microbe. Now freezing effect concentration of cellular electrolyte. So just by uh, using and just by creating freezing condition, the whatever concentration of cellular electrolytes inside the bacterial cell is there, that will be changed, and it will again responsible for denaturation of internal cellular material and create abnormal symptoms. So what are the different things happening? DNA alteration is there, then outer and inner membrane permeability, loss of membrane is there, so loss of intracellular component is there, ribosome conformation loss is generally observed, and general protein aggregation, loss of specific protein functions, enzymes function. These are affected by using this kind of treatment. So freezing induces temperature shock to some microorganisms, and this is true more for thermophiles and mesophiles than the psychrophiles. More cells die when the temperature decline above freezing is sudden than when it is slow. So freezing causes metabolic activity of some microbial cells, such as Pseudomonas species. Some bacteria also showed increased nutritional requirement upon thawing from the frozen state. Now, one very important thing about thawing, it was observed that slow thawing showed potential more detrimental effect than freezing process. So repeated freezing and thawing will destroy bacteria by disrupting cell membranes. Faster the thawing process, the greater the number of bacterial survivor, and the reason of this is not clear. So slow thawing is more detrimental, and it is more effective. So this is all about the freezing process or the preservation. Freezing people use for preservation purposes. So I think you should have the complete information about the mode of action of freezing process, as well as what are the things generally happen in bacterial cell. So you please remember all these things. In the last 3-4 slides, I have summarized